Today, we're going to be talking about funnels, the what, the why, and a little bit of the how. This is the beginning of our branding trainings, and it is an important first step to keep in mind as we continue over the rest of this quarter. So, what is a funnel? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, so no, my notes are gone. Okay, so what is a funnel? We see here that it's simply a system that's used to find and attract your ideal clients, like the yummy ice cream cone there, moving them from the top of the funnel, getting them used to interacting with you and liking and trusting you all the way out to the bottom. And then once they've reached the bottom of that funnel, they will likely be eating out of the palms of your hands, so to speak, right? Like they've made it to the end. They have been loving what you've been giving them. And so when they reach the end of this funnel, they are ready for whatever is next with you. The sales funnel is really used throughout all types of businesses, but the process is essentially the same. So the aim is always to lead people through the funnel to the goal that you want. So it makes sense that as we get started crafting and organizing our funnel, that we want to start with the end goal in mind first, what we ultimately want them to do. And then we're going to be working backwards to establish the smaller goals for each part of your funnel. And don't worry, we're going to be going over this today. So having your funnel in place helps you to create systems in your business that eventually you can then hand over, you can teach others to do as your business grows, and you might hire a team, okay? So an online funnel is special because it's precise and it's simple. And it can be as simple as, let me move this over, okay? It can be as simple as we broadcast a message that our ideal client would relate to, so we can build our audience. And then over time, as they engage with our content and we connect with them, they move down, they get used to and understand our systems and our processes. And if they like what they see, they're going to continue with us going further and further into the funnel until they reach the end goal, which is working with you in some capacity. Your new customer, your new recruit, your referral. So what is your end goal? For me personally, where'd it go? I want to share, and so I'll show you mine here. So for me personally, for me currently, it is working with me inside the mastermind community. Okay, so my next question, you can see here at the red, it says WPMSM, White Praise Slave Mastermind. Okay, so my next question needs to be, how do I get people there into the mastermind? Ultimately, I know that I want people to come to the Wake, Pray, Slay community. I want them to come there because that's where they'll get to know me on a more intimate level, and then to establish the foundation of who I want to work with. My ideal client that I want to work with are women who want to build a business established on biblical principles. So inside my group, I talk mostly about that, sprinkling in other things that are related to productivity and systems to give my audience a little bit more insight into what I can offer. So because I've got my end goal in mind, the mastermind, and how they get there, Wake, Pray, Slay community, what's the next step before that? So I need to make sure that I'm moving people into my group using content on my profile. That could be my Facebook profile, Instagram, maybe offline, maybe ads, if I ever wanted to go that route, networking, okay, which brings me then to the top of my funnel. The very first step is to attract people to my profile in the first place, because that's where they're going to get a little bit of insight into who I am. And I can do that by meeting people online in groups, or by searching hashtags, or even when I am out and about in the real world. When people meet me and they want to get to know me a little bit more, they're going to come to my Facebook profile and they're going to kind of snoop around in there. So I have to make sure that my profile communicates what I stand for, and it ultimately leads them to where I want them to go next. And I'm wanting them to ultimately move into my Wake, Pray, Slay free community, right? So this then becomes my system of how I obtain clients. So I find people, they get to know me, and if they like what they see and they want to connect deeper, they move into my free community. And then over time in that community, through more content and trainings and conversations I'm having with them, they may make the decision that they want to work with me through the mastermind membership. So in time when I begin selling my signature offer, which I'm really excited about, it's in the works. But when I begin selling that in the future, the goal, the end of my funnel during that open enrollment period, is to enroll them into that program. And then once open enrollment ends, my end goal is going to move back to the mastermind membership. So no matter what I do, this process remains the same. It reminds me of my end goal and the process that I take to indoctrinate people to working with me, to helping them get to know me and what I'm about and the content that I can help them with. Local networking groups. I could just say, like if I were to go to a local networking group, let me start by saying the system, no matter what I do, the process is the same, okay? So if I were to go to a local networking group, like for instance, I'm a part of the Women in Business group here, I could just say that I'm a productivity and systems consultant for women in business, but I know who my ideal client is, and I know where I want them to go to learn more about me. So I may add to the end of that, or I might just simply say instead that I'm the founder of the Wake, Pray, Slay community, which is a God-led business women's community covering marketing and productivity systems for online businesses. Now, this statement doesn't give like my full description, doesn't say like I'm a coach or whatever, right? Like it doesn't say that, but it helps me to find those people who will relate to like they're going to relate to that value. They're going to see themselves there. And if they relate to what I'm saying, if they're saying, oh, I'm God-led, and yeah, that sounds like something I want to be a part of, right? They're going to work themselves down the funnel as they see it. So if I'm in that networking community and they relate to what I just said, then they're either going to have a conversation with me or they're going to snoop me on Facebook, and they're going to go down my funnel into my free community through my content. And then over time, the goal is for them to become a new client of mine. So this here is your assignment, okay, your homework. So over this week, I want you to decide what your end goal is, okay? It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be, part of that process can be moving them into the group. Part of it could be moving it into scheduling an appointment on your calendar with the end goal of what, okay? So one, you're going to decide what your end goal is, and then you're going to decide how you're going to lead people there. It doesn't have to be 4 steps like in the funnels that I shared with you. It can be 3 or it can be 7, but it has to make sense to both you and the client and create continuity between the steps. Like they have to flow and make sense. So once you've spent some time developing your funnel system, I call this your customer acquisition system, because really that's what you're doing, right? Like you're wanting people to become your customer, your client, your referral, whatever that is, okay? This is your system. Once you spend some time developing it, just come into the group, create a post of your own, and just let us know the process that you've come up with so far and how you are choosing to move people through your funnel. And then bonus points for how you will find people to enter your funnel. All right, so that's what I have for you today. It's an important first step. The beginning of this process starts at the end with knowing your goal of where you want people, how you want people to work with you, and your process for getting them there.